Vivek, thank you very much for being here today. It's an honor to have you here. We just have hundreds of family offices, investors, developers, property companies, and you are here. You are one of a kind. After a brilliant career in the cinema, in the TV, now you are a very well-known person, leader in the real estate market. First of all, congratulations, and how was this transformation?
Thank you so much, Gustavo, and congratulations for a fantastic event right here in Abu Dhabi. I really enjoyed the GRI event that you beautifully curated together today, and met some friends and met some great potential partners. And it was really good knowledge sharing. It's always lovely to be at an event like this where you can share your own experiences, but also learn from the experiences of others. And one thing leads to another. You build relationships, and then that expands into good business opportunities. So I'd like to thank you and the entire GRI team.
Thank you very much. Now, when it comes to projects in the real estate market here in the UAE, you have over 20 projects here in the region, and you have big plans for that. Can you explain to our audience, if you are talking about a fund or you're a developer, can you clarify for us?
Sure. So actually, I fit in both roles. So in one role, I'm the GP of a fund here called Nisus, which is a listed company in India. And with my partner, Amit Goenka here, we've raised $1 billion in capital. And we're deploying that in a program where we're acquiring undervalued assets. We buy an asset in a really good location, but it's badly managed or has financial issues. We acquire the asset, buy it out single shot, one shot, with the dry powder in our hand, with the capital in our hand, negotiate the asset, buy it at a good price. And then we work on refurbing that entire asset, uplifting the whole value, the whole living experience within that asset, whether it's multifamily, commercial, retail. We bring the value back to that asset at par with another asset that's next to it or the market that's around it. We fix that value chain structure. And then after that, when the asset has increased in value for our investors, we have exit options. So we can either hold the asset at a much better yield, much better return. We can flip the asset as a whole to, a large institution looking for a lazy capital kind of play where they're like, look, we just want a stabilized asset. We've got a bunch of pension funds behind us, and we want to hold something very European or American style. That's a gap in the market right now in the UAE. People want a stitched together play, like Brookfield just bought $300 million worth of stabilized assets. So they want somebody to come in, create a bundle like that and say, here you go. And the other exit is on an individual basis, where today with the world of tokenization, fractional ownership, there's so much going on in terms of yield generating assets. So that's a yield generating asset focused company. And the other one that I do is B&W Developments. That's with my partner, Ankur Agarwal.
Right.
And we started the company with a focus on creating an ultra-luxury experience. We were early movers on the Marjan Island, where Wynn was bringing the world's largest gaming resort, casino.
Fantastic timing.
And we have 17 projects around the casino, 7 on the island, 10 in RAC Central, which is the equivalent of DIFC, but in RAC. Our total portfolio, and then we have 6 more in Dubai. Our total portfolio is at about $7 billion of assets under development. We're a zero debt company. We work collaboratively with single family offices, multifamily offices, institutional players, UHNIs, who come to us and say, look, we'd like to deploy this capital with you. Mm-hmm. Can you create a bespoke management structure for us? And can you help us with the vision, the development, the acquisition of land, the creation of the final product, and the exit all planned together? We also do hospitality and commercial within the organization. We just closed a very large deal with Taj, which is one of the finest hotel brands in the world.
Indeed.
In fact, if I'm not mistaken, they just won the brand awards as the #1 brand in the world in terms of respect.
Wow.
125-year-old company. Great legacy. So we built a good relationship with them. We're planning to build a number of Tajes across the region.
Fantastic. Now, we see a lot of new capital coming to UAE.
Yeah.
capital from Europe, from the US, from Russia, from Africa as well. How do you explain that? And you saw that coming before. You had been here for for quite some time now.
Yeah.
How do you compare the current momentum with the past? And also for those that, not many people, but some people tell me, oh, maybe there is a bubble. How would you answer that?
So yes, the UAE has experienced bubbles before. A lot of people lost money post the 2008 collapse, and then there was another bubble, and every 6 years it tends to have a bubble. And that used to be the problem in the past. But that was because before COVID, UAE was a transitional economy. People would come here, live here for a few years, and then go back home after making some money because they didn't find the quality of life, education, healthcare, good compared to, say, their home in Europe or the US or wherever they came from here just to make money and say, I'll do a stint here in the UAE and then I'll go back. But what the UAE has done is phenomenal. With the visionary leadership that they have filled up all those gaps. And their management of COVID, their handling of COVID, so many people who came here just to escape from COVID, to be able to freely travel and work during the time of COVID, which they enabled beautifully here in the UAE. And they didn't shut down the way a lot of countries shut down. They managed it beautifully here. You didn't feel like COVID was going on when you were in the UAE. Business didn't suffer. A lot of people realize that maybe this is a place to call and consider home. So you're in an environment where you have zero crime. You're absolutely safe. We live here for years now. I've never locked the door of my house, never needed to. You're financially secure because the UAE has the dirham, which is like a pseudo dollar. It's pegged, so you never lose in currency fluctuations. You're okay with that front. You have a steady return, and you don't have a tax terrorism mindset in terms of the regulatory environment. The problem with a lot of economies is they're constantly taxing people higher and higher and higher, which is creating flight of capital. If you look at the UK, I have a home in the UK. I spend my summers there because it's quite hot here, and we have business in the UK. But when I go to the UK and I see what they're doing there, they're making it more and more difficult for the businesses to survive.
That's true.
In the last 10 years, Gustavo, 31,000 millionaires have exited from the UK. 31,000 millionaires, of which 11,000 have exited in the last 15 months.
That's a lot.
11,000. So you see the speed of exodus of people saying, I need to move out of here. It's because the mindset cannot be so negative. You can't just punitively tax people for being successful. You can't punish them for being successful. Everybody wants a good social economy. Everybody wants, upliftment of the poor, opportunities for all, healthcare for all. But you're punishing them and you're not yet delivering the healthcare. You're not yet delivering the safety. There's still crime. There's still, healthcare which is in the doldrums. You go for an appointment in NHS, it's supposed to be free, but you're getting it after 6 months. So many people joke that I forgot what I was going to the doctor for because I got an appointment after 6 months. So these are the things that people want to leave and come here and live here. The freedom of expression, the freedom to practice your faith, the freedom to practice your culture, to live freely, safely, not worry about your children and wife and, the family's safety here or your own safety here. The surety of business, steadiness of business is what's bringing people here. So this year, we're 39,800 units short. Wow. With all the supply, with all the new projects delivering, we're constantly short because more and more people want to move here, live here. When leaders move here, they create jobs. What people are not realizing, how many more people will come here? Look at what's going on here in Abu Dhabi. They're venturing into space tech, into semiconductors, into chip manufacturing, into artificial intelligence. The world's first AI ministry is not America or the UK or India. The world's first AI ministry was established here in the UAE with clear policy, where if you're an AI company, you're not going to be retrospectively hit with some policy change where your business can be wiped out in a day. That surety is amazing. Sheikh Rashid, the visionary leader who created Dubai as an example of a hub for business. Apparently, I've heard this from a lot of locals, he used to always tell Sheikh Mohammed, his son, that what is good for business is good for Dubai. What is good for Dubai is good for business. So they facilitate, and that's what I think is driving so much capital, talent, and leaders here. People who are wealthy, who are escaping other jurisdictions, Gustavo, are not just people who inherited wealth. They created wealth.
Yes.
They created wealth because they've got leadership qualities. If they are coming here and calling this home, you think they will just switch off that leadership quality? No. They will bring that to this location. They will say, what can I do?
It's much more than capital.
When I started B&W here with Ankur, we were surprised to see national ministers calling us up, reaching out, coming over to the office, saying, we love what you're doing. How can we help you grow? What else can we do for you? I have never experienced that. Have you experienced that in Latin America?
No. That's
Have you seen that in the UK or the US?
No. Absolutely.
That mindset is just incredible.
Absolutely. I must say, I completely agree. That's why the GI has decided to open an office here.
I'm so glad you did.
And you can count on us as well to keep bringing the investors to the region, developers, property companies, because we, just like you, believe there's a lot of things going on here and we don't want to miss that. Absolutely.
And the beauty is that a lot of the areas of business is still virgin. Great potential for healthcare, great potential for AI, great potential for Web3 companies. You already have enough blockchain and crypto going here. Great regulatory environment that's constantly thinking forward. They're trying to make everything easy by anticipation, and that they kind of anticipate, they ask you, how can we make this easier for you? So in the last 2-3 years, the changes that they've brought into real estate, the ease of business in real estate, it's almost automated everything. So I think those are the things that make a big difference. Somebody asked me, said, why don't you partner with us in the US and we'll do a project together? I said, what was the last project you did? And they showed me this beautiful project in Long Island. I said, amazing. I was at the New York Real Estate Expo at the time. And I said, how long did it take you to get the regulations and approvals to get this done? And he says, well, it took me 17 years to deliver the project. I said, you've answered your own question. I would finish this in 17 months.
Yeah, very important. Very interesting. Vivek, thank you very much. Appreciate your time. Wonderful conversation. Thank you.
Wish you all the best.